All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the European Gaming Q2 Meetup. That's our quarterly meetup series. Nice to have you all here. Sometimes people just ask us if we are going live or we are going to play commercials all day long. But that 1 minute of delay is to gather people on social media. So happy to be back here and happy to have some of the brightest minds of social media and marketing in the industry with me. Claudia, Heiling, Dorota, Gruszka, and Tereza, Melicharkova. We've been working together for many, many years now. But finally, I get to have you on our show. Okay, so I just want to ask you guys to just say a few words about yourselves before we start the panel, because that's how we do. That's how we usually do on our meetups and our podcasts. So it's better that you say a few words about yourself. So Dorota, you go first.
Okay, so hello. It's a pleasure, as always, to see you and to be here. So long story short about me, I've been working for the iGaming industry over the past 8 years. And I can't even stress enough to say how excited I was to be, involved in this meeting, because LinkedIn is my absolute baby. I have over 24,000 followers. So I do believe I can share some super important trick and treats, how to build your personal and also your company brand. So I'm really, really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Claudia.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here as well. I'm co-founder and CEO of Golden Whale. We're a company delivering machine learning infrastructures and services to the gaming industry. My co-founder, Eberhard, he was on one of your panels before, right?
Yep.
So, we're a startup. Founded the company 2.5 years ago and are building our brand, basically. So excited to share some insights about what we've been doing so far.
And of course, sorry about that. Golden Whale is the perfect example of being built also on the huge name of Eberhard from GreenTube.
True that.
All right, Tereza.
Hi, my name is Tereza Melicharkova. I've been working in the industry for the past 8 years. I started at NetEnt, where me and Zoltan met for the first time and did the first project together. And I'm super excited to be on this panel from the first moment when I was asked if I want to participate. I can't wait to learn more from Claudia and Dorota from their perspective, and I can't wait to share what we are doing at Swintt.
All right, thank you so much. Wow, it's great to have somebody with much more followers than me here on the panel. So it's good. Okay, so guys, what's the deal with becoming the leading voice in iGaming community? So, I mean, if you really want to be heard, you've got to dive into the wild world of social media, right? So here we are figuring out the secret sauce to fame ourselves on the platforms like LinkedIn, because I think that's the most appropriate form for our industry. So have you ever noticed how everyone's crafting their unique voice? So it's like we're all trying to be that peacock in the park. The park and is filled with pigeons, right? So our upcoming session is going to decode just that, how to fluff your feathers and strut your stuff on social media. So we'll explore how to build a standout identity, tailor your strategies to different platforms, of course. And yes, we will find that special unique voice that makes people stop scrolling and start listening to your posts. So my question, first question to all the panelists here is that, of course, social media is now part of our daily life. So whether it's posting on LinkedIn or creating reels on Instagram, it's part of it. So how crucial it is for the iGaming executives to be actively engaged on social media platforms like LinkedIn, and what are the primary benefits of doing so? So let's start with Dorota and go with Claudia and then Tereza.
Okay, so I think this is extremely critical to build both your personal brand, because that will help also the company that you work for. And I will just give an example here. When I joined Booming Games just over a year ago, they had 5,000 followers on LinkedIn. And because of my massive network, I managed to get them almost 8,000 followers over the period of a year. So the fact that I have 24,000 followers gives me also a massive advantage, because you can only invite to follow your page the first line connection. So you have to be connected with someone, because let's face it, what are followers on LinkedIn? They are our connections, right? And this is critical in any business. So for example, I'm really obsessed with Shark Tank and with Dragon's Den. And before they close any deal, they always say how important is to have those connections. Yes. And sometimes they would say, like, I have connections here, I have connections there, I can get you here. So pretty much LinkedIn, can leverage your brand awareness, can improve on sales, can also help HR. But to achieve all those things, you really need to work hard on that, right? So you really need to have a solid strategy, and you need to know what you're doing, not just over push the products, because what I realized is that people want to see hardworking team behind the scenes. And in fact, every single time you show a face of a team, it gets so much more engagement than when you just put promotional video of your product, So it has to be balanced. So yeah, that's maybe that's it for me from now. So
all right.
I don't want to overdo it.
Claudia.
At a much lower scale than you just explained, Doro, I would say I would agree with very much everything that you said. It's basically very relevant to be on social media, especially LinkedIn for a company nowadays. The interesting fact is, we've been the founding team of Golden Whale has been in the industry for quite a while, for 20 plus years when we met at GreenTube, and basically we scaled and operated a company before when social media did not have that impact that it had today, right? So it's interesting how important LinkedIn and other social media platforms have gotten in the last few years, especially. And for us, it's absolutely relevant to be there as well. And I would say it's crucial to be there and to show, on the one hand, of course, what the company does, what the results are, new partnerships, deals, etc. But of course, also share the story behind who are the people behind the company, basically. And that's even more so, I believe, if the company you represent is the one that you founded yourself. So it's kind of whatever you say is directly interlinked with the company itself, your own business. So it's very important to take that into account as well.
All right. My opinion, LinkedIn is overhyped somehow. I think there's some problem with your connections because there was a small delay, but it's not a problem. Okay. Good. Now we have you good. So I think that LinkedIn is a bit overhyped in terms of bragging, but what can you do? That's the business world, right? So Tereza.
I agree with the ladies, what was said. You need to balance, absolutely. From the marketing perspective, I would love if all my colleagues are sharing everything what the company has to announce, but you really have to be balanced, not to bore your followers and your audience. You should be sharing something you are very passionate about, something which includes you, being on the panel or having an editorial released by industry media. We have a great example, latest example. We were thinking what to do to celebrate Swintt's 5th anniversary, and we came up with a board game. And because the whole team was so excited about delivering this board game to our customers to celebrate together, we really wanted to share it. We wanted to reach the awareness that we did this project together as much as we could. So we all went on our LinkedIn's private profiles. We shared this news, this post, and it reached over 10,000 impressions, which is really great for our industry. So it really works. If you are passionate about something, you should be sharing as much as you can.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like you mentioned this, Tereza. It's interesting that not all of your company people are engaging in the company post. Why is that?
You have different personas, right, within the industry. You have people who are a little bit, even in real life, not as loud as some people on the commercial marketing sides, for example. Some people don't understand how connected it is. We are very fortunate to be in the industry where most of your friends on Facebook, Instagram are coming from the industry as your colleagues, industry peers, leaders, competitors as well, of course. So anything you announce is going to be seen by the industry, and some people purely don't want to do that.
If I can add something on that, because I'm really pushy here in regards to liking posts and sharing posts and stuff. So I always like encouraging our employees to like and post and share and comment by just clicking this notify employee button, which is like the king, because then actually they're gonna get the notification that I posted something new. And if it's something really critical and really important, then I also share it, via our Slack channels and stuff, to push it a little bit more. And also, I think what would do the trick is to tag people. I think this is an extremely superpower. So, for example, when we received a new license or something, I would put everybody involved, right? So commercial, legal, blah, blah, blah. So then, of course, they're going to see it and they're going to comment on that, great achievement, And I think reacting to comments is also critical. Because in my opinion, it's kind of almost like of a respect thing. Because if someone spent time, right, to read your post and then even to drop a comment, of course, just say thank you, whatever, react to this with the heart, say thank you, be appreciative. And that's going to lead to more and more views, to more and more likes, and to more and more shares. So yeah, that's a little trick that I'm doing currently. And it works. So
yeah. And we had a guest here that told us that the first 5 minutes are crucial. So reacting to those posts in the first 5 minutes is going to make the difference between that post becoming viral or just maybe getting about 50 to 100.
I wouldn't say it's 5 minutes. I would say it's 1 hour. And also, as you mentioned, the first hour is really critical, I would say, for the post to be super successful or not that much successful. But yeah, this is really important, as you said, to kind of encourage people to like it. And that's why I'm tagging, companies, sponsors, people, just to get this extra traction.
All right. So have you guys ever noticed how everyone's trying to be authentic on social media? Like I told you earlier, it's like suddenly everybody's posting a deep, heartfelt diary entry sandwiched between ads and protein shakes and mattress sales because you get that. And every time you get a message on LinkedIn, if you have a payment provider or something like that, that's also part of the deal. So, so what's the key to keeping it real online while also selling out just enough to keep the lights on? And how do you strike that perfect balance between sounding like a genuine person being and like someone who also got something to sell? This has to be a good balance between that. I mean, are you just crafting catchy one-liners that resonate? Or are you trying to become the next big social media guru without turning into a walking billboard? That's my question to you, Dorota, first.
Okay, I will gladly take over. So, we have to differentiate two things, right? So first, which is very important, is building your personal brand on LinkedIn. So what would help in that people would look at you as someone authentic, right? Is definitely verify your profile, right? That's already a massive key. Have a decent profile picture, not from Bahamas under the palm. LinkedIn is not very strict with profile pictures, so you don't have to necessarily be very, wearing suit. But you have to always, kind of find this balance, right? Get a nice, background picture. Background picture is a free banner for you, that every single person who goes on your page, you can promote already products of your brands. Then, write short bio about you. Also, you can, write your experience with details, and then go out. I participate in most of the iGaming events, and that also gives me, a massive exposure, I would say, which I really, really like. But again, this is hard work, right? Because people feel like, oh, she's partying all the time. That's not really the case. Again, there are, business-related events. And I go there to build my company's brand and my personal brand, to get these new connections, take a lot of photos. I have background in art and design, so that really helps me, because the quality of the content is extremely important as well. Nobody wants to look at the picture that is looking like it was taken by Nokia 3310. It has to be decent quality, right? You have to have a good eye. You have to know how to operate with the light, because the most kind of pretty and happy the post is, then the more engagement you're gonna have. And in regards to building authenticity of your brand, of the company you work for, it's pretty much a similar story, right? So always change the banners. Whenever there is a new game release, that's an opportunity for you to hit there, to update it. Have a decent also bio about your company. Have the structure. So there's like a lot of things look after. I think I'm hearing someone.
Yeah. Just 1 second. I'm trying to locate him. Somebody left their microphone on.
Not a problem. So yeah, I'll just continue while you are trying to locate the person. So yeah, and again, it's basically the content, as I mentioned before, has to be a mixture of showcasing products, of also informing people about the company achievements, which can be, winning or shortlisting in any awards. It can be also like new licenses, new major operators on board in our case, right? Because we are a game provider. So yeah, it's basically finding new balance, showcasing the team. That works super, super, super cool.
All right, Claudia.
Participating in podcasts like this one also.
Yes, that's also something. Yeah. So, Claudia, in your view, what's the key to maintaining that authentic voice on social media?
I agree with a lot what Dora has already said. I would add that it definitely also needs to fit your business, your brand identity, your value, your mission, on the one hand, your personal one, but also, of course, the company's one. And from our experience, as we are a provider, is my connection now good, by the way?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
perfect. So as we are a supplier for machine learning services and work with our partners' data on a daily level, we need to be very reliant and trustworthy, and therefore maybe also a bit more serious than other parts of the iGaming ecosystem. That's something very important for us. So positioning ourselves as the fun ones maybe would not work for us as much as it might work for somebody else. So I think if we just always keep that in mind, and we also want for us to stay authentic on LinkedIn. And we also really think it's important to provide value in our posts. So in terms of, I'm pretty sure that all of our timelines are filled, with lots and lots of information. So we consider results very newsworthy, or signing new partnerships, or also, of course, attending the various events around the globe or in the iGaming industry, because it just shows everybody where we can be able to meet, and all these kind of things. So really providing value and just stay true to what's important to you and your brand and your company.
All right, that's fair enough. One interesting thing that I already deducted from this is like this building your personal brand. Okay, so Dorota and Tereza are in the marketing sphere, right? Claudia, you're in a different sphere because you're a co-founder of a company. So my question would be, what would be the ideal for the sales managers, business development managers to also build their brands around social media? Because it's not, okay, marketing person is okay. They're going to build the brand. But okay, the people working there who are attending conferences, meeting people and doing deals, they should be working on that too, right? Anyone can answer this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In an ideal world, you have those people sharing as much as they can as well. Those are the ones meeting people. If you post on your social media a picture rather than a visual created by graphic design, it works so much better. You can tag the potential customer, which gives you another extra range. So those should be really the ones who will want to represent the game, the brand, also the games. they are the brand ambassadors as well, everyone within the company, but those salespeople and business developers are really those who are meeting most of the people in the industry, and they want to be seen as the brand ambassador themselves, and they want to push the brand as much as they can. It helps with their sales afterwards as well. So it's really win-win situation if we are all on the same page, that we are here to push the brand, we believe in the brand, and we want to give as much exposure as we can.
So do you need to push your CEOs to post?
We've been very lucky at Swintt. We have everyone very passionate about working here. Lars, our head of business development, he shares everything we do. He is very good in taking pictures at the events. Sometimes I need to remind him because it is still, he's focused on the business development, not on social media. But we've been very fortunate with people around. But sometimes, of course, they even come to our team for help. Everybody wants to build their own profile. It's good for, again, both yourself and your company as well. So to make sure that you are consistent, the regularity of the posts, it's crucial. If you want to make an impact on social media, you have to make sure that you have something coming up every now and then, at least once a week, I would say, on the personal level. On the professional, on the business level, for Swintt, we are trying to have one post per day, really, not more than one, because they push each other outside of the timeline. I know that Claudia mentioned that we are overwhelmed, but on the B2B side, where we are launching a new product every week, really, which is new game coming up every week, we are fortunate enough to have great visuals. We are in the entertainment industry, so working with those visuals from the games is actually really beautiful and fun. So unfortunately, we might be a little bit overwhelming the timeline, but we haven't gotten any bad feedback about it. Everybody is just very happy that they know what Swintt is up to, and we get really positive feedback that they see Swintt everywhere, and we are trying to balance it, as was mentioned many times before. It's not only product launches, of course, it's about employer branding. You want to make sure that you show that you are working hard, but your team is having fun, so you attract new talents to the company, which makes the company in the end what it is. Posting pets as well for some marketing days, as Dogs Day, really helps as well. It's those people and pets are really bringing a lot of traction. So just the balance between new products, people having fun, commercial or marketing days within the calendar of the year.
All right. So how do you guys feel about memes?
About memes?
About memes?
Like, you mean memes being posted on LinkedIn? Or
Exactly. Yes.
I think I found it sometimes super funny. I think what we have to kind of know, it's like we need to be creative, because people want to see new funny things, and I have absolutely nothing against posting memes on LinkedIn, because I laughed so many times, because obviously behind the meme is crazy story, right, in the description, so that everybody likes and everybody loves. So yeah, I have nothing against it. It's again about keeping balance, right? So it should not be that LinkedIn is just for fun only, right? So we have to have this kind of balance. And as Tereza said, if you want to build your personal brand, you should post as well. And you can be also super creative here. For example, I had no upcoming events, and it's been let's say 10 days since I did not post. I went to the office with my dog. Literally, that's what I did. I literally set this dog on everybody's lap, took some cool pictures, and it took off so well. I was really shocked how many views posts with my dog got. So, but obviously it was work related, right? Because we're at the office. So, you can use these little tricks, even though it's not from official party or official event or official meeting. You can just, figure it out yourself. Just have fun with it, basically.
All right, Claudia, what? No, go ahead. First.
Sorry, the post about pets, it works. It works really, really well. If you manage to combine it with your business, it's a great recipe.
All right, Claudia, do you guys post something about AI? Some memes about AI?
We have not yet, actually. Maybe we have to do this. And I'm already thinking about how to combine pets and dogs and cats with data visibility or data visualization. So maybe there's still some things that we are not yet considering. I guess it's part of the whole of our whole story, still being, basically doing pretty much ourselves in the founding team. So we might not have the resources as well yet to be on basically daily or something like that. What we use LinkedIn for also in terms of course, building the brand is also reaching out to lots of people. We use it for networking, and that was basically how we started to use LinkedIn back in the days when it was not so much about building the whole brand, and that's been quite significant for us since we started Golden Whale as well. So reaching out to existing business contacts or new ones, and just we are also on the B2B sales side, right? So we have to be out there and get deals done. So that's quite important for us as well. And Tereza, just to add to what you said, I personally really love what you do at Swintt and also what you do at Booming Games. It just really fits your business. And as you say, you launch new products and games and things every week or so. So there's a lot more to post than to show some new data visualization, maybe. What we do happens a lot in the background in back offices talking to each other, so it's not it might not be that easy to promote, but I think the results basically show their way, and that's what we're definitely gonna be focusing on more, the more results we're getting with the work that we've been doing over the last few months.
All right, great. Tereza.
I think what Claudia said is extremely important, because you have to know your audience, right? You have to know your audience, and then you're gonna have totally different strategy. So each business would have totally different strategy, and each of the strategy can actually work. So the most important is who is your target group, basically.
All right, Tereza, you wanted to say something about posting memes with pets or photos with pets.
Before, I was just saying that, as Dorota mentioned, posting your dogs and making sure that it goes well with the business, it's really takes off. It's skyrocketing the results on social media. Pets work. Meme, I wouldn't personally post it on the professional profile of Swintt. I will try to stay away from it, just because the tone of voice is not ours. But I do have fun reading some posts of other people.
All right. The reason why I said about this topic about the memes, because I got the biggest reaction numbers posting memes on LinkedIn. Even when we post about conferences where people are there, I get about maybe 100 likes. But this time there was a meme which I posted. Have you seen the movie Crazy Stupid Love? Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell. There's a photo with them walking down the streets, and I created a meme that says Steve Carell with his baggy clothes is like IT, and Ryan Gosling is sales. So I got 1,200 reactions on that post and over 100,000 impressions. It was a meme. So that's a funny story behind, because every time I post a meme, I get lots of reactions on it. And every time I post something about the conferences or the podcast, I get maybe 15% of that. So maybe I should just reprofile myself and become a comedian or some sort and start adding memes, because I think that's my public.
You would be great at it. You will have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have 22,000 followers, and it seems that those guys are following me for different things than the things I do.
Base your tone of voice on that, and go.
Exactly.
Go viral. Go viral.
Yes. So my next question to you guys would be: have you found that there are some core ingredients needed to establish a strong presence within the LinkedIn community? Dorota, you go first.
Yes, I think we briefly discussed that before, about, I think the question about authenticity would also overlap some of the answers in regards to this question, right? So yeah, definitely. Again, you need to be, creative. You need to know your audience. You need to be smart about what you post. Also, when you post, also the timing even of the post. Because. For example, Monday's morning, maybe not super the best, but also don't do it too late because people then go home and they don't want to chill with their loved ones and they don't want to necessarily spend time on LinkedIn liking something. Also weekends not really necessarily working very well for the same particular reason, so you have to kind of find your balance here and know which post and when to post. And again, engaging, with your audience, build relationships. It's really crazy how many times it really helped me that I had these connections. Even now we were building stand in Sao Paulo, and I was using the stand builder for the very first time, and it was really scary because they are based in Brazil, and I'm here, and I cannot just meet them and talk to them, right? So then they told me that they're building stands for some other companies, and then I already had, people from those companies in my network, so I could easily message them and ask them, like, guys, what do you think about it? And they said, no, we do also the stand with them, so all good. So I kind of also felt released, relieved. Again, with sales, as well. I could find anybody from anywhere because what is also worth mentioning is when you build your personal connection, I don't just invite anybody, right? I also target people. So for example, let's say we want to be with particular operator, right? And I'm going to go on their LinkedIn page, press people, and I'm going to make sure that all C-level, all casino managers and everybody is first in my network, because then when I'm building booming games network, I'll just invite them. so this is really working super well for me, and this is something also worth knowing that when you have a company profile, you have 250 credits to invite people.
Yes.
But every time a person accepts your invite, you are regaining those credits. So I think what is extremely important at the end, and those credits cannot be transferred for another month. So what is really critical is that when it's beginning of the month, spend some time really to use those credits, because then you have the whole month to regain those credit back and add more and more people. That's how I achieved this 8,000 in 1 year, right? Because otherwise I would never be able to do it. And it's organic and paid, I'm talking, right? Just based on my connections. So yeah, that's all from me.
I actually have a reminder at every first day of the month to do a refill of the LinkedIn invites on the pages.
Good.
All
and
right.
I do the same for my personal network. I think for the personal network, it's a bit less to avoid also spamming. So that's why it took me like 3 years to have this 24,000, because of course I was limited then. But I'm literally inviting people until I receive notification. No more credits. That's it.
Exactly. That's good.
And it's super, super, super beneficial. It worked really, really well for me.
All right, Claudia, what are the secret ingredients you guys use to establish your presence in the LinkedIn community?
There's actually a lot I can still learn from Doro, I think. No,
this is recorded, by the way, so you can rewatch it.
That's good. No, for us, basically, for me personally, one core ingredient definitely is relevance. It needs to be relevant for whatever we post. It needs to have some sort of relevance for whoever is reading it. So for our audience, in terms of what's valuable, could be, I've mentioned that before, results, achievements, information about our products, our brands, things like that. When time is short, we focus on relevance. Let's put it that way. If there's a bit more time, then we really like to post about other stuff as well. But in the end, it comes down to having something that's informative and relevant for our audience.
All right, Tereza, what's your take on this? Because I asked your CEO at one of our podcasts, what does Swintt mean, by the way? I did not get a clear answer back then.
I was hoping for some more colorful story behind the whole Swintt idea as well. But we just got few names. The board liked one. The domain wasn't available, so we added extra T. So then we saw the win in insight, and when we said, it sounds really great. Let's go with Swintt. Let's do this. That was the second tagline which came just along with it. So the story goes like this. We are trying to invite those 250 people later in the month. Maybe listening to Dorota is not the best, but I know that many people do it on the first day of the month. So I'm trying not to be one of them, because even myself, I'm getting many invites to follow pages, and sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. So I'm waiting a few days later. Maybe I don't get all full 250 credits, but we get some nice following. But I know that Dorota is mastering this strategy 100%. Then regularities, for sure, we spoke about already, and we can learn a lot from influencers on Instagram. If you are not posting and engaging and entertaining your followers, you're going to lose them very easily, because people forget very easily. So you just need to make sure that you are in front of people's views very often, with something relevant as well. As Claudia mentioned, we are not just trying to make posts just for the sake of it, but sometimes we do actually run out of days in the week. As Dorota mentioned, we are not posting during the weekend. We just have so many things happening at Swintt, which is a fantastic position to be in. Many editorials, interviews from the industry, celebrations together, Swintt 5th anniversary, marketing days, as we covered, of course, and those game launches. So just really to be regular and make sure it's balanced. But we spoke about that a few times by now, but it works.
All right. So let's also talk about other social media platforms, by the way, because this is not sponsored by LinkedIn. So there's a story. We had the guys from Almost Friday Beers at our podcast a year ago. That's a great story, by the way. There was a small Instagram account. They were posting memes about, in the US, there's this weekend culture. When the Friday comes, everybody goes to have beers and stuff like that. They was posting memes every day about it's almost Friday and stuff like that. So they got up to 3.5 million followers in just 1 year, just for posting memes. And now they own several other brands. They are like everywhere. So my question to you is, does or should your strategy for LinkedIn differ from the approach you use on other social media platforms? And if so, why? Dorota, you go first.
I think absolutely, right? Because LinkedIn is a part of the social media channels, yet it's absolutely completely different, right? Because it's more business related. And on LinkedIn, we have over 1 billion active users. So you can just see the superpower of it right here. And obviously the content has to be, as mentioned before, professional at a certain point, right? Doesn't have to be necessarily serious all the time. Also, again, what Claudia said, depends what you do and what is your target group, because that's all that matter. But definitely, other social media channels, they allow you to do so much more, and you can really be to the level of being inappropriate, and you don't want to be in your personal career, or your company career. You don't want to be seen as someone who is unprofessional. Or someone who is posting something completely irrelevant. So yeah, definitely the strategy is completely different. I think I know that this is not sponsored by LinkedIn, but I think what is really amazing on LinkedIn, that is the most forgivable social media channel, because this is business related. Also, if we would look at the age groups, there are people between 30 and 49 years old, right? If we're gonna compare that with Instagram or TikTok or stuff like that, we have loads and loads of kids. So, for example, on LinkedIn, we can publish something, especially we are plus 18 content, right? Because we are a slot producer. So we need to be extremely, extremely careful if we don't want to have any lawsuits, right? So I would tell you like honest, we have obviously Instagram, we have Twitter, which I think Twitter for Europe, did that really take off that well as in US, So we just have it for the sake of having it, really. Then we have Facebook and Instagram, pretty much, and LinkedIn, right? And Facebook and Instagram, I was always against doing anything like retargeting or paid ads or stuff, because so many people, either kids can see it, first of all, and then so many people, maybe they would have gambling issues or someone in the family and they just don't want to see it. So you cannot be really pushy there, you know? So it took off also super kind of slow, and I don't mind that, to be honest. We also keep it for like, you know, HR maybe purposes, perhaps, you know, so if a person wants to join our company, maybe they don't have LinkedIn or they don't use LinkedIn much, right? They can go on Facebook, on Instagram, and they can see, oh, this company is really cool, you know? They are doing this stuff and this stuff, you know, they have cool parties, but they also work hard, but oh, they won the award, you know, so you gain this credibility. Which is extremely important. So as I said, it will be quite difficult for me to discuss like Instagram or Facebook because we have it. Because we have it, it doesn't harm us at any point, but does it really give us any benefits? Yes, maybe in this regard that I just mentioned, you know, in regards to like, you know, attracting new people to join us. But business-wise, I don't really think so. To be honest, LinkedIn is definitely the strongest one. And that's where our main focus is currently.
All right, Claudia.
I would have to agree with you, Dorota. It's, you know, especially from a B2B supplier perspective, LinkedIn is the place to be, I would say. It might differ maybe for, you know, B2C brands who want to directly reach their end customers on, let's say, Instagram or Facebook, but especially dealing in the iGaming industry and with products containing, you know, games of luck and things like that, we have to be careful about that. So for us, it's also, our focus is on LinkedIn, and we don't really see any value in paralleling our efforts on any of the other social media platforms, to be very honest.
All right. Hopefully Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are not watching us right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure we all use those other platforms when, you know, sitting around and maybe scrolling through some timeline and on Instagram or something like that from private use. But just from a perspective of Golden Whale, it does not really make sense for us.
All right. Fair enough. Tereza.
You know what? I believe that every single new view counts for the awareness. I agree that LinkedIn is absolutely the core and the most important for our businesses. However, our strategy is to be consistent on all the other 3 platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So anything what we prepare for LinkedIn, we are sharing on those platforms as well. Of course, from the strategy perspective, the size of the visuals is different. So you have to adjust, you have to understand, again, your audience, that more people will probably scroll on Instagram. That's why the visuals have to fit the screen of mobile rather than desktop. On LinkedIn, the number of users on mobile is higher, of course, than desktop, because that's the trend we see lately everywhere. However, we all who work in the industry, we are spending our time mostly on desktop, and we are scrolling on LinkedIn during our work time as well, because it's part of the research, industry research, education, what's happening among the industry. So therefore, the visuals are more adjusted to desktop. We acquired Elysium Studio earlier this year, and the content which will be coming from their studio is more engaging for the audience which likes to play mobile games. Younger generation, not the classic slot, more entertaining from the background perspective as well, and visuals. So we are expecting that maybe the Instagram audience will grow more with that particular audience of players. So directly, nobody from business, but the players themselves, 18 plus, of course, and we have to keep that in mind always when we are trying to push any game content 18 plus. So maybe in 6 months, we will review the strategy we have at the moment, and we will see if we want to push a little bit different content on the Instagram side compared to LinkedIn, just to be more engaging with the end users, which is, we don't have that many channels how we can reach them. So social media, streamers, and affiliates is probably our best tools to reach the end users. So we will review that. Of course, we are limited to the size of the team as well, but if something grows really well, and you engage with the players directly and it works for the future, we will be definitely willing to change the strategy a bit.
All right. So on the B2B side, I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. And I will share a story because, we have the Hipther brand, which is the parent brand of our events and media, but we also have our news websites, European Gaming, Gaming Americas. So on that particular part, posting the articles on LinkedIn is not getting us as good traction as X, Facebook, or Instagram does. Even though we post B2B news, it's very interesting that we get bigger traffic on our search engine optimization statistics. We've seen that most of the traffics are coming from Facebook, X, and Instagram. On the Hipther side, for the events and for the podcast, LinkedIn is king, of course, but it's very close to X. So it's very interesting to see. We have seen a lot of B2B providers that have started a blog on their websites because the days are gone when you had a website for a brand, not just focus on social media, rather than getting traffic for, like, let's say, Swintt, Booming Games, on that particular website, not social media. So my question for you is, do you think that this would be something relevant for your company to do? Have a blog, post news on the website, not on social media, and focus on getting customers throughout search engine optimization? Good question, right?
Yeah, can I take it?
Yeah.
We try to bring people to our website, of course. We revamped the website last year in March. We still see it as a very important tool. So any news regarding anything which goes out from PR perspective, new deals, new games, interviews, maybe with affiliates as well, editorials, we try to post it on our website. Any advertising we do with the industry media, it always links to our website. That's on social media because that's where the form for contact form is. That's how we are trying to get people to contact us. That's how we are trying to get new customers. So I think it's very important to keep alongside of your social media, your website alive and entertaining and engaging. Since we launched, we got amazing numbers. We also focused on the launching campaign a lot. We celebrated 21st March, which is Down Syndrome Day, where we are trying to involve the charity. So if we got certain amount of people visiting the website, we were donating money for the charity, and we were sending out socks as part of the campaign. Again, the team was extremely excited. We got fantastic traction on social media, and we got amazing number of people who visited the website within the first month. So I believe that websites are still very powerful tool. And if you are even searching on Google or Bing or anywhere for a product or company, you always go to the website first before going to the social media.
Yeah, because you guys get a lot of juice from our news websites because you send out the press releases. Those sites are linking back to you. So basically, your 60% of your SEO is already done. So you don't need to do follow links, etc. So yeah, Dorota, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I think I really agree with what Tereza said. I think for the company to be successful, you really need to take every single opportunity to showcase your products, and to tell a story about the company you work for. So yeah, I think having website, we are actually rebuilding the website. So guys, keep your fingers crossed for us. And I really hope we're gonna launch it very soon, But as Tereza said, it's extremely powerful tool. And most likely, if you ever would hear about Booming Games, etc., obviously the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna Google that, and then you're gonna actually be redirected to the website, and then you can read more about the company, about our culture. It's also very positive tool not only for sales but also for HR purposes, to get new employees on board as well. So yeah, I think it's super important. And as Tereza said, every view is an important view. It doesn't matter where the view goes, because that's how you build your brand awareness and brand authenticity, etc. So so I agree absolutely with what Tereza said. It's super important, and you have to keep it fresh, you have to keep it updated, you have to keep it creative, and definitely it's a massive power there as well.
All right, Claudia.
I'd like to add to that. Absolutely. Every news that we post on LinkedIn is basically first done on the website most often. And then we do the LinkedIn post to it and even link to the website very often. So we really want to have people on the website as well and get basically the fuller picture about Golden Whale, because on LinkedIn, it's a very good part of what you can see about the company, of course, but not everything. There's a lot more information on the website as well. And we do also have the newsletter sign up there. So on the one hand, we do have the newsletter on LinkedIn, but also on the website, and we do get subscriptions from both sources. So definitely the website is equally or even more important. I don't know how to put it, but definitely something to keep updated regularly as well.
All right, another story I will share with you guys, because it's very odd. We have been using since Claudia mentioned it, we have a newsletter, and we have been using MailChimp and sign-up forms on our website for that newsletter. It's a midweek newsletter. It's very interesting that we switched from MailChimp to sending out emails every week to LinkedIn newsletter. Mm-hmm. And our readership jumped with 2,000%. Mm-hmm. Because either way, they might have been receiving that email as a spam, or it wasn't relevant for them. They just signed up. But we switched to the newsletter on LinkedIn, and it really boosted the readership, and it's going strong. So Tereza, sorry I interrupted you. You wanted to say something.
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to add one thing. Even from a user's perspective, when I'm searching, for example, for a restaurant, and the first comes website page instead of proper website, the Facebook page, sorry, instead of website of the restaurant, I get quite annoyed that I can't really read the menu. I have to search through the pictures. It's not always on the same page or on the same site. So I think having websites overall is really important, and we are still in those times where it will be important for another decade.
Yeah,
so
because
websites
it gives
are
you
not
also
dead.
the credibility, it's as Tereza said, it also puts me off when I'm either even going on vacation, and even if it's like Airbnb or whatever. Actually, for me, whatever you do, you should have a website, like professional website, not a Facebook page, because that already put you from here to like middle, and then just you don't want to do it. You don't even want to see it. You don't want to be associated with this. So I think having like a professional website with professional content, being your brand, it really gives you a massive credibility. So yeah, this is definitely 100% extremely important for any business. Yeah. Again, for any business.
Yeah,
the
that's
rules
why
are the rules.
That's why the B2B providers have always their websites redesigned every 2 or 3 months. We get to see that every time. Like you, Dorota, you just mentioned that you're rebuilding the website. That's very often in the B2B sphere.
But you want to keep the content fresh, and also certain even design stuff,
Yeah,
they're changing, because since I joined Booming Games, also I redesigned the whole company. I changed the colors, the logo not so much. We just fixed it a little bit. But before they were having like black, red, and white, which is not digitally friendly. It is not. So then I just adjusted to like midnight blue, sunset red, and all of a sudden it worked so amazingly. So I think also, and a lot of people not only changing the website, as you said, but they also rebrand, and they don't have issues with rebranding, with changing new stuff, right? To give the company fresh face. It's also quite popular if you would look at at the other companies, because maybe when you were opening the company you weren't that sure, or you need to maybe perhaps rush certain things. But it's always good to take a step back, take a deep breath, and see, okay, we did this, but maybe it can be done better. And then if your teams agreed, and if they have your support, then you can climb the mountains and fly away with your ideas.
Since you mentioned support, okay, for you it's easy. You had 24,000 followers, and you said to the business, to the CEO, hey, I need to rebrand. And he said, of course, let's do it. But is it hard to convince the leadership of a company to do a redesign or rebrand?
Sometimes it's their baby, and you have to understand that people came to the business, they had great ideas and big dreams to make the brand shine. And then they hire someone externally who comes and they say, oh, this is not working, we have to change it. So you will not always be welcome with that idea with open arms. but it depends person by person, I believe.
All right.
I think, it's not only convincing about rebranding in general. My mind is really busy. I always think at something, and sometimes even I take a step back and I look at something that I've never seen it before. It's really hard to do it, but I can do it because then you can be the fair judge of what you see, right? And it's not only in regards to rebranding, but in any new activity that you want to take on board when you are at a new company. For me, what works is I would not just say, for example, let's rebrand because whatever, I don't like these colors. No, I would say let's rebrand because blah 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 bullet points, and then there's an open discussion. So I always every time I want to take on board new ideas or partner with someone, whatever, I always present strong KPIs or this or that or statistics. I'm really like data driven because then it's just so much easier to get approval if you are backed up by black and white data, basically.
All right, so you probably add to the bullet point, I have 24,000 followers. I know best.
Back in time, I didn't have 24,000. Give me a break. It's a new thing. And it's actually
right.
24,250.
Okay, that's important. Claudia, if one of your team members from marketing walks up to you and said, okay, we need to rebrand everything. We need to do a redesign of the website, social media, new logo, I don't care. Do you approve?
I was just thinking about that in my mind. It hasn't happened so far yet. We still like our logo. It's not that old. In my head, an idea forms up. We have to do this in a year or so again to see where how everything developed to see where we stand. I guess I would be open to discuss, and if somebody comes prepared with a bullet point list and really good arguments of why we should do that, definitely. For now, it works for us as it is.
All right. So my next question would be, what are some of the common pitfalls that iGaming executives should avoid when trying to establish themselves as influential voices on social media, and how do they overcome these challenges? Because we've seen many of the CEOs and C-level executives start wanting to become influential on social media and failed. So what advice would you give them? Dorota.
I think it's pretty much we covered this previously because the rules are kind of the same. It doesn't matter if you are C-level or whatever you do, you kind of have quite similar rules. I think what would be something that it's not very good is sometimes when you're like really high, you are really busy and you just forget about posting or about showcasing your face, etc. And I think the benefits of it are critical because I don't know, guys, if you know, but LinkedIn is pushing executives more than anyone else. So if you are a business executive, that can be massive help for your brands. If you would post more or stay engaged more, comment or your company achievements or the team achievements, right? Because we have also now even for Casino Beats and iGaming Idol, there are like people's categories, right? So I think not doing that, it's not good, or not keeping like your bio in your profile, because it's all about gaining this credibility. As Tereza said, if someone doesn't have website, I don't want to go. Even if it's a restaurant, there is like, no, go, I'm not going. And it's the same. Like, for example, even if you have a business partner and you want to go and check someone's LinkedIn profile, right? If you see that the last post was like 8 years ago, you are thinking, what happened? Is everything okay with that person? Or because so again, it's extremely important. And yeah, I understand also that sometimes when you run the business, you don't really have time for that. But you should see me when I'm doing, my LinkedIn followers. So like anytime, I drink my coffee. I don't know. I go for a walk with my dog. It doesn't really take that much time to create this engagement and to create this hype and to appreciate people who comment, appreciate people who share, etc. So yeah, I think that's one of this biggest mistake, to just neglect LinkedIn being an executive.
All right, Claudia?
I believe, and adding to that as well, as an executive, you most often are in the position because you do something right or know something about some topics that others might not. So it's just take that into consideration and post something or comment on something, like also maybe lifting others, or other comment or the other posts by just adding your opinion is also something that can help getting a profile on LinkedIn. So I would definitely recommend that. And also, if you don't want to do the post yourselves, maybe get some help in just get the support of your marketing team or whoever to maybe help you write something, if that's not something that you just really want to do yourself, but use the voice that you have and your knowledge and your expertise is definitely helping build your brand and your company as well.
All right, Tereza?
Definitely posting balanced posts, which makes sense, absolutely. Not to do it too much, or as you said, we saw some people trying to be influencers and it didn't work really well. You have to keep in mind again that you are the ambassador of the brand. You have to have very similar tone of voice. It should be within the same range. It should be, of course, your social media on Facebook and Instagram won't be in the same lines, but you are an executive. You have a very important role within the industry. So you should keep it informative about your travels, for example. What you want to share from the company as well, of course. Don't overdo it, really, because we are in the business which is trying to become more and more mature and more serious as well. So let's keep that in mind. Let's be professional in everything we do. Let's be within the same ideas and brand as the you work for. And as Claudia said, ask for help. If you are not an expert on it, you want to do it a little bit more or just in the right way, ask your colleagues for your help who are in the marketing teams or who know how this works. And that would be probably the best advice.
All right. Hopefully Pierre Lind is hearing this. It's not about posting that you ran 50 kilometers. It's not related to your business, so we don't care. Just
no,
kidding,
I'm going
to
defend him.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was too much. It was a huge achievement.
Yes.
If you want.
All right. So since my next session has had a problem and he cannot make it, do you guys still have 10 minutes to stay here? Because there are a couple of questions on Twitch. Wow. We've been using streaming to Twitch for 2 months now, and this is the first time we get an interaction, so it's good. So the question is for all panelists. So how do you measure the impact of social media activities? And are there any specific metrics or indicators that you find most valuable? Dorota.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's quite easy, right? Because all the social media channels, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, you can measure how many views posts have, how many interactions, how many engagements, how many comments, etc. Right? So really, what you have to do at the end of the month is just go to your stats and just check it out, and then you can also see what works and what doesn't work. What I would say is that because LinkedIn is really business oriented, and we don't only do it for views and likes, I think what it is very important to measure is the impact on certain posts. So, for example, let's say that we would post that we are licensed in Romania, right? And that post might not have 30, 40,000 views or 200 likes, but what it could have, like a casino operator, a casino manager from an operator would think like, oh, wow, I really was waiting for them to go into Romania because we actually operate in Romania. So let's maybe discuss this, let's reach out to sales, or commercial team, and let's have a deal. So, this is kind of, I would not just focus strictly on the metrics on how many views, which is also nice. As Tereza said, every view counts, which is great. But then, me posting my dog have no impact on the business, right? As posting about partnering with top tier operators or licenses, etc., would have an impact, So, so I would not just focus on metrics per se, I want to just see what kind of gives us, what kind of benefits it gives the company.
All right. Claudia?
Yeah, absolutely agreeing with you here. Not every post is commented or liked or whatever equally, but it's still, I think there is some impact that you cannot measure as such, because you just get into the minds of people who might be interested in the topic or have been interested for a while. And then even though they might not engage with a post or something, they find the topic interesting, and it leads to some further conversation, or some meeting that's going to be set up. So just keep posting and be consistent, and then of course checking the insights that you get on LinkedIn on a monthly basis at least, and seeing how followers grow, etc., is quite interesting for us as well, of course. But I think you're reaching more than actually engage with what you do.
Exactly. Tereza.
Mm-hmm.
I think she got disconnected. She's still here. Okay,
yes, sorry
now
guys. Sorry, we
Good.
have internet issue at the office. Do you want my answer? Sorry, I missed.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't hear what Claudia and Dorota said, unfortunately. So apologies if I'm going to repeat it again. The question was
About how do you measure the impact of your social media activity?
Right. Sorry about it. I caught Dorota at the beginning. And of course, as Dorota said, the posts are targeting different kind of audience. We are not capable of doing that from our side. But I would hope that the social media themselves and the algorithms that are already working on its own would understand a little bit better what the end user is interested in viewing as well. So hopefully maybe for someone who is looking for suppliers in Romania, wouldn't be really feed it with Dorota's dog, but they would be more feed it with those people who are announcing being in Romania. But it's more up to the social media developers, and let's hope that they are doing very hard work on actually providing a platform that gives you what you are interested in.
And as Claudia said, that like in certain area of businesses, and I think marketing is one of this area as well, you can't really measure the success. Because, for example, let's say you're going to spend thousands of hundreds of euros of having a standing exhibition. How many deals will you close at the end? And do you know certainly if those deals were because you had this massive stand, you know what I mean? But yet people still do it because they believe that it has massive impact, although not everything can be measured.
All right. So yeah, that's very interesting.
Just on that note, we had a really interesting conversation with Jan from SBC, who said, I can give you a banner at the show for free if you will pay for it when someone comes based on the banner, and you can prove that you did the deal based on that. But as Dorota said, it's impossible to measure. So we forgot about that idea.
Okay, so it's good. Yeah, it's very interesting because when we're doing conferences, like we do the conference in Prague, and then we do the conference in the Baltics, then we do the one in Warsaw, it's very interesting to see that during that period, our focus on the content is, of course, related to that region. So it's not a secret. We accept sponsored posts on our website. We got to keep the lights on. So in that period, like for now, we're focusing on Tallinn in Estonia. In this period, we've been receiving clients from Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. When we do the conference in Poland, we keep receiving orders from that region. So it's very interesting to see that it's very like tying your campaigns to a certain region will probably get you, like you said, Romania. You will probably get interested from companies that are operating in Romania.
You know what is also very, I think, interesting, and this is very important, although I think we would have no time and no life for that, but like whatever you do in life, you have to have a target group, right? And in the ideal world, imagine that, for example, let's say hypothetically, Booming Games would have a LinkedIn for Romania, only in Romanian, you know what I mean? Or LinkedIn, in Portugal with Portuguese. That would have a lot of impact already, because, for example, me being Polish, I would love to see, like some content in Polish, because I would just feel more that I belong, like more associated with what's happening. And a lot of companies, they already have, like whatever name, no name has to be mentioned, but with like, for example, Spain, or Portugal or whatever. So they would have certain social media channels for that specific market in the market language to get the higher hype, and it works. But as I said, we would need to have the whole team of translators and making content and stuff. So obviously this is like the, let's say, more or less the ideal world, and not really, because it has also some downsides as well. But yeah,
All right. So my closing question. Just go ahead then, Tereza. Sorry, then I will do the closing.
One thing we keep forgetting about the talent and employer branding. So LinkedIn is really great tool to attract the talent. And if you have an office in Bulgaria and you have all content in English, it's not going to work, and you're not going to get the best talent, because those people will not have the language. They will not want to even see, So you need to adjust from the employee branding perspective to target your potential the best candidates in those markets where you have offices in.
I have a story about that too, by the way, and it's against the LinkedIn hiring option, because we have a landing page where we have careers, the options that are available. We of course, as a small company, forget to update it when we hire somebody. So it's still there. The form is still there. And we are sponsoring two runners, two athletes in Romania who are like winning marathons and stuff like that, posting on Facebook, on Instagram. They have a couple of thousands of followers, but they always tag us on every post, their training and everything. And we get about 600 to 700 applications in 6 months, just by those people, because they're checking out the website, they see careers, and they apply. When we do a campaign on LinkedIn, for instance, that we're hiring, we get all these people coming from, okay, I'm not discriminated, Pakistan, India, stuff like that, but nothing that is actually somebody you can hire. So it's very interesting to see that as well, coming from Facebook and Instagram, that people maybe are also there and could be of a potential use for a company. So my final question is about success stories and effective social media. So I know that you guys are not prepared for these questions, but something from the top of your mind will pop up. So could you share some success story or particular effective social media campaign from your experience in the iGaming industry? It doesn't have to be your company. And what maybe you can say that made that campaign successful, or maybe you have even learned some lessons from it. Dorota.
That's a question that I wasn't prepared for to answer, to be honest, because now obviously when you have to do something under pressure, your brain is like and there is like emptiness and echo happening at the moment. I think it's a really difficult question. I would like to pass to someone else, and maybe then I will comment, because now my brain is completely empty.
All right, who would like to take this?
Okay. I can take it. If Claudia, you want to think of, because I already covered this, to be completely honest. It is the recent story we did for our 5th anniversary, the board game Swintt. It was absolute hit. The team did amazing job, and it really took off. I have never had personally a better acting post in my life. It's something which hasn't been done in the industry. People love something creative. So if you have something to share which really is a bit different outside of everyday stories of the competitors and the industry itself, it really helps. So this would be our success story, I would say, for social media.
All right, great.
Oh, I forgot about the campaign that we did for Ronaldinho, that we were shortlisted.
True.
But as I said, I was just not prepared, and I just had literally nothing. But since Tereza started talking, I clicked back, so I reset myself, and it's all good. So yeah, definitely. I don't know, guys, if you are aware, but we partnered with Ronaldinho last year, and we did like amazing campaign about the partnership with him. We are soon we're gonna release our first game. It's going to be a network release, because this game is already live on top tier operators. as exclusive release. So the success story of this, we were also not expecting this to be on such a super strong hype. We had the private party with him in Rio de Janeiro.
Really? Yeah. Not such a big hype, Ronaldinho.
Ask Jan from SBC, he was there. and also, like, for example, our team took a selfie with Ronaldinho, and I named it the selfie of the year, because imagine there are 4 people and Ronaldinho, so all this campaign had a massive impact on our brand, and obviously it was posted on LinkedIn but also across other social media channels, and it was received extremely well by industry, not only to also prove that we are a super strong brand and a leader in the iGaming world, but also gave us this endless opportunity of getting new operators on board, because Ronaldinho is this icon that everybody wants to be associated with, so his sport career and then what he does now, everybody likes him as a person also, because
he's a cool guy.
He's a very cool guy. He's not like this, I'm the best. No, he's really down to earth guy, very friendly, very happy. So that's the answer on your question.
All right, Claudia.
Okay, no idols or celebrities there yet on our end, but what we found extremely successful were 2 things. Even though we really try to be relevant and about the product and everything, it's about the people involved, right? So the column. A column or something that I wrote, how I got into the gaming industry and things like that, how I got to found the company together with my favorite colleagues from the past. That was quite successful, as well as some podcast interview that our CTO Thomas did, where he explained a bit about what we did in gaming back then, not before we came into iGaming and things like that, just the background stories about that, and also professional pictures and photos of events that really helped push our latest post when we did sponsor the IGX conference in Switzerland, in Geneva 2 weeks ago. So things like that, where you really have good creatives, good photos of the team as well, basically at work, doing what we're doing, really helped us pushing the latest campaigns from Golden
All
Whale.
right. Very nice. We haven't touched based on influencer marketing, but maybe you can just add to your posts once you start sharing the recording of this session. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. We will now edit this video and upload it so you guys can share it on your social media channels, because that's probably what you're waiting for. And for all those that are watching us live on LinkedIn, X, Twitch, and YouTube, thank you for joining us. We will be back today with the Gaming Americas quarterly meetup in a couple of hours. I have a very long day today. Dorota, Tereza, Claudia, thank you. Maybe you guys would like to say some parting words.
Well, thank you so much for having us. It was really fun. I was looking forward to it, but it exceeded my expectations. So thank you everyone on the panel for joining, and let's talk about influencers on the next panel.
Exactly. Right. We are waiting for the next invite. I think we should keep this panelist, the whole group. It worked just perfectly, and we also exceeded the time for 20 minutes. That also shows that it was a quite successful podcast, I would say. So thank you so much for having me and the girls. I really think that it was really, really amazing experience.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much.
All right, so I think we should fix a date after this for September for the 3rd quarterly meetup, and we will catch up on influencer marketing and stuff like that. All right, guys, have a great afternoon and speak soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.